Hey guys, I am back and I have something else from Off Grid, another knife from Off Grid. I have yet to be disappointed by anything from Off Grid, and I've actually had this on the to-do shelf for a little bit, so my apologies to Carrie, the owner of Off Grid, the owner and, by the way, designer of Off Grid. Interesting fact about Off Grid that you should know, Off Grid knives are all owned and designed, and I'm fairly certain that they're 100% designed by the owner. I may be a little wrong about that. He may get some outside design influence, but they're designed by Carrie, and then he has a really good production team in Taiwan, and for his higher end Wii knives actually does the production as well. So they're all, I mean, very, very well made. No, they are not produced in America, but I challenge you to, find fault with the quality in any of these things. So today we're going to be looking at the Rhino. And now I have been a fan of Off Grid. I want to say almost, before it was cool. I don't know if that's actually true. It's not like they were brand new when I started Off Grid, like picking up the Off Grid stuff, but some of my favorite Off Grid designs aren't even produced anymore. I'll just put it that way. Off Grid is an amazing company, and that's why I love showing you what they got. I love talking with and working with the owner, and we have done some special, projects over at the shop at Patriot Armory and Coatings with him. Amazing, cool dude, very receptive to input. So the Rhino, I wouldn't say fits into a budget line, but it is in his lesser expensive than the Elite series. And a lot of, wow, this is a good heavy knife. A lot of the Off Grid knives are made to be just pure workhorses, and I believe that the Rhino fits into that workhorse kind of title. So just taking a look, starting off, you got some really nicely machined G10 scales over steel liners. You've got a G10 backspacer, deep carry clip. Unfortunately, does not look like you have much option for moving that deep carry clip anywhere. So very limited soup option. If you don't like right hand tip up only, no soup for you. You can see we've got a flipper, perfectly centered out of the box. Like I said before, the quality of Off Grid is usually outstanding. Fit and finish looks great all around. I don't see any faults, any overbites of the liners or the scales or anything. Looks like a great finish on the blade. It does have a little bit of weight to it, but I suspect that's from this rather large, big steel blade and the size of the knife itself, which fits in the hand very, very nicely. Wow, that's a nice flipping action. So here you can see, now this looks like it actually is a very dark stonewash kind of finish, which I love, I'm into. D2 steel blade, that's an interesting steel. I honestly have not seen Off Grid do a high carbon steel on a flipper before, on a folder. He does a very, very good cryo-treated AUS 8 that is just, it holds up to a lot of stuff. But I think this is the first D2 steel blade I've seen them crank out in a folding knife. So I don't feel any spring or anything. I think that's just a combination of good engineering and good detent, that nice action. So here is your light switch, and here is your push button. So however you're comfortable flipping, either way, it works well. It's actually a really simple blade design when you look at it. Just a kind of a wedge drop point there. But it fits in your hand really nice. Thumb ramp feels really good, jimping right where it needs to be. You've got a pretty nicely situated choil there for your index finger. Right up against the flipper, but the flipper doesn't come backwards into your finger area at all. You feel the clip slightly, minor slightly, if at all. I think with different hand sizes that might change how much you actually feel that. I think with slightly smaller hands you wouldn't feel that at all. But very comfortable to hold. And It is, again, heavy, but I think because of this big old chunk of steel you got there, I mean, big piece of D2 high carbon steel. So when I mentioned workhorse, yeah, this would be a workhorse type knife for you. You don't got a lot of marking on the blade to worry about, no billboarding there, just a little off-grid symbol on one side and your D2 on the other. Very nice feel on the liner lock there. No stress or anything on the thumb to reach it and release the blade. Hear that sound? That's like a nice clunk. And take a look at your lock up there. Pretty good. Skeletonized liners. You got some big weight relieving holes cut in there too, which probably is to compensate for the weight of this blade. Now, while you do have, so this is, and this has to be on bearings the way this feels. I'm sure it is. You know, so the way I'm looking at this is, it's kind of a no frills blade. It is just a do your work, kind of a heavy hard use. And D2 is a hard use steel, and it feels sharp as hell. Simple design. Do your work. Do your best. Do your worst, as it were. You know, kind of rough and tumble knife with a relatively simple design. And it's just, wow. Let's jump right into the lock test. Because as you can see, the lock face there is, you know, the size of it takes up about 50% of the width of the blade. So we'll do this right away. And nothing, no movement. I gave it a little extra hard whack on there too. No stickiness. We're still perfectly centered. Action is still great. Nope. Wow, no blade play at all. Awesome. Let's bring in the money. Cannot feel this moving through the paper. It's like a razor. Awesome. Now, I'm not sure. You've got some minor texturing, I mean really light texturing across the face of the G10, and then you've got this milling out. I feel like you would get good grip on it. I'm not sure how much added grip this provides. You know, just these grooves. I'm sure that if you're, you know, in a wet environment, that would help. If you've got gloved hands, I feel like just the shape of it, you know, you'd hold on really well. I can feel my fingertips grabbing onto these grooves here, but I don't know if that would add, like if you were in a gloved situation or whatever. But I think just, you know, sometimes we talk about the 2-finger lock you can get on a knife. This design lets you, you know, those 2 fingers lock on, and then the rest of your hand is just holding on to it really well. I love that it's a very simple design, though. I mean, speaking, you know, of the design of the knife itself, no crazy curves or angles or anything to speak of. It's not made to be flashy or showy. It is, and, you know, kind of like a Rhino, just big and tough. And to me, that's kind of what I come to expect of off-grid, is just a tough, reliable knife. And I think that is what they do best. Now, that's not to say that they don't make some really beautiful pieces. Take a look at the Scorpion or the, you know, the Mamba, the Black Mamba. They make some really nicely done, well-engineered and machined pieces too. But this, or like the Hawkbill Tonto one they make, those are, you know, that's what they do. They just make these really big, tough pieces of metal that will serve you and you can rely on. Trying to get a close-up on that dark stonewash finish, because I really like it, and the texturing on the scales, so you get a real good view. Now, the price, you know, of off-grid includes really good customer service. If you buy on their website, He usually includes free 2-day shipping, which is really cool. That's why I have a link to their website in the video description that you can check out. And like I said, very open to suggestions and ideas from customers. Really cool dude. Really cool dude. And, you know, I think I have heard of 1 or 2 complaints ever with off-grid, and none of them have had to do with the quality of the knife. One guy once complained about something stupid, that he didn't get an email response in the time he wanted. It had nothing at all to do with the quality of the knife. They hadn't even had the knife in their hand yet, and they were complaining. So that's why, you know, again, I cannot hide the fact that I like to promote the company. I love this company. Been dealing with them for years, have owned their stuff for years. I personally spend money on their stuff. I mean, that's, you know, again, if you don't believe me, go back, look at the history of the videos for Off-Grid. I have been buying their stuff myself for years, long before he ever sent me a sample of anything to look at. Great stuff. I mean, really, really reliable stuff. I always say this, if this same design had a bigger, more well-known brand name on it, like Benchmade, ZT, Spyderco, you know, Cold Steel, something like that, you'd be paying a lot more for this exact same knife. You really would. So they're worth checking out. I'm interested to see what you guys think of this design. What do you think? Is it a little too simple for your taste? I know we're going to get the usual. We always do this. I always say this when we have a D2 blade. There's going to be the D2 blade debate. Some people like D2. Some people I don't know. I don't understand why people don't like D2. I just don't get it. I love D2. It's a great steel if you understand what it's used for and you take care of it. It's a great hard use steel. But anyway, what do you guys think of this design? It is, like I said, simple and just kind of rugged, and I can't wait. You are absolutely going to see this again on Instagram, on the channel. This is going to be in my pocket for the next couple of weeks at least as I go out and do some stuff. You know, it's getting wintry. I'm going to be doing some woodsy stuff, so this is going to be in my pocket. This is going to find its way into my rotation, and this is what I'm going to be using. Fresh out of the box, not going to touch the blade, nothing like that. Going to take it out and use it, and you'll see it. So, looking forward to your comments, guys. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. There will be more of the random, unannounced, let's just give stuff away stuff coming up. You know, not only I think I made it out to sound like I was just doing it until Christmas. No, they're going to roll. They're just going to keep rolling, so just keep your eye out for it. You are all absolutely awesome, and I'll be back again real soon.